Okay, so here we are on the second session of history. History revision of chapter 2, Nationalism in India. Okay, as yesterday I have given you an introduction of this particular chapter, correct? I have told you about that how Britishers came to India and how they captured power in India, and after that how that self-realization has come up in Indian people to fight for their freedom, which is called as nationalism. Okay, which is called as movement of nationalism, you can say, which spread in India to gain freedom and to fight for the freedom, and we put on a freedom struggle on that time. Understand? So that is called as nationalism in India. Now, when we are saying that, when we are saying about the phase of self-realization in people, that they need to fight for the freedom and they want freedom, or they need to put up a freedom struggle or freedom fight. What are the reasons behind that, we will see. Okay. So now in this particular session I am going to see the causes of nationalism. Okay, causes of nationalism. Now when we talk about the causes of nationalism, there are different causes of nationalism. Okay, as yesterday also I have told you that there is an economic exploitation. Yes or no? I have told you that farmers have been forced to grow commercial crops like tobacco and meal, and they are unable to grow food crops which is essential for our country, which is essential for the people of our country. Understand? And farmers are also forced to give a land revenue. Land taxation policy was there, land revenue system was there. Understand? Many landless farmers are there who are working under the zamindars, and those zamindars are giving very less wages to these farmers, and from that wages also that farmers need to pay tax to the British government. Understand? So this economic exploitation was there, which is one of the reason of nationalism, or which is one of the reason why we have that self-realization that we need to put up a freedom struggle or a freedom fight. So the first cause, you can say that economic exploitation was there. Okay. Secondly, you can say that agriculture of our country was affected adversely. And as I have told you, machines have been invented. Britishers, when they started using machines in India, our handicraft and handloom industries are suffering because of that. Understand? So second cause, you can say that adverse effect on agriculture and handicraft industries. Understand? There was an adverse effect on agriculture and handicraft industries. ये दो points आपको कल मैंने बता दिए थे. Yes or no? I have explained you these 2 points. Now I have explained you third point also, the very important, you can say. Okay, the very important cause of nationalism or self-realization in people was First World War. Effects of First World War which we have in India. And that was the reason, that was the very big reason why people want to gain freedom, people want to get free from Britishers. Understand? So the third reason, or the very most important reason, was effects of World War I. Okay, 1914 to 1918. Okay, and as I have told you, the World War is fought between two powers, Allied power and Central power. Understand? Allied power, we have England, we have France and Russia. Okay, and Central power we have Germany, Italy and Austria. Okay, these are the two powers who were there in First World War. And yesterday only I have told you that this First World War becomes the World War because on that time imperialism was there. What is imperialism? What is imperialism? Colonization or imperialism? Can anybody over here tell me what is imperialism? See, when we talk about the causes of First World War, you can say that imperialism, colonization, industrial revolution, okay, death of the Prince of Austria, all these are the causes of First World War. Understand? So now when we talk about imperialism, see, on that time, to gain political power or to become politically strong, different countries try to capture territories of other countries. Understand? That is called as imperialism or colonization. Now when they are capturing other countries, they have a fight with each other or they have a conflict or war with each other to capture that particular territory, which both of those countries need to capture, or maybe three, not two, maybe three countries. They are fighting or they are having a war with each other, they are having a conflict with each other to capture the same territory. Understand? And as if after industrial revolution, European countries wanted to capture territories in Asian countries, because of which they have a conflict with each other. Understand? So because of that industrial revolution, imperialism conflict, they started with the war, and this war between these two powers becomes a world war, because what they have done, they involved their colonies also into this particular war. Whatever territories they have captured, they involve those territories also in that particular war to have a support. Okay, so that is why that particular war becomes a world war. So that was the reason. Now why this was a reason for us or for Indian people to start with the nationalism? Because of this particular world war, on that time England, as India is a colony of England, England is ruling upon India. So they force us to take part in the war and to have the finance to support the war, what they have done, they increases the level of taxation. Okay, they increase the level of custom duties which Indians are paying. They forcefully make our people to become a army or to become a soldier to involve in world war. Understand? Because we don't have any relation with the war, but because we have under the control of Britishers, they forced us to involve in the war, because of which we have so much loss. Okay, agricultural fields or agricultural you can say agricultural part is also affected because of the world war. Okay, because farmers, especially in villages, people are forced to take part in the war. People are forced to become a soldier for Britishers, because of which agriculture has adverse effect, and our industries are also affected because they have increased the custom duties. Custom duties means when we are importing and exporting. Okay, when our traders are importing and exporting from other countries, they need to pay custom duties. And British traders, they don't need to pay any kind of custom duties. So they have also increased the custom duties, and because of all these effects of World War I on India, we have that self-realization that now we need a freedom. Okay, on that particular period of time, like when we talk about 1914 to 1918, in that particular period of time, 1915 is a time when Gandhiji came to India. Understand? So from 1915 to 1918, Gandhiji put up many small movements, very small agitations, especially in agricultural fields, especially for the farmers, which is the start of the nationalism in India. Understand? So when we talk about the causes of or effects of World War I, which is the cause of nationalism, we have different causes like increase in taxation policy, then increase in custom duties, okay, then we have adverse effect on agricultural production, we have, okay, then we can say that forceful recruitment in their army, in British Army, or all the financial support which they need for the war, they get that support from the India only. Okay, that is, they are draining us financially. Financial draining was there. Okay, so all these are the effects of World War I on India, and these are the causes because of which we have started with the nationalism in India. Understand everyone? Now when we talk about the nationalism, The very first phase of nationalism is started in 1915 when Gandhiji came to India from South Africa. Okay, and Gandhiji have introduced the idea of Satyagraha, and that is a small movement called Movement of Satyagraha, which is started by Gandhiji, and that movement has spread in many places. Okay, time by time. That Gandhiji, 1915 Gandhiji came to India, then 1916, 1917 and 1918. Okay, these are the 3 years in which simultaneously Gandhiji put up small movements to support farmers. Okay, to abolish the land revenue system which farmers are having. Understand? So you have written this thing, this points you have written, just write down. If you wanted to write it down, just write it down. So we can move on further. Okay, we will start with the idea of Satyagraha or movement of Satyagraha. Or as if I am teaching, you can note down the points with me only, okay? So I don't need to wait for you to write it down. These are the points which will help you to understand the chapter afterwards when you are taking a revision. Finished? Huh? Okay. Okay, now moving on further, we will see that after this self-realization about nationalism, this particular self-realization or how this particular movement, which is called as nationalism, how it spread. Okay, so we will first take the idea of Satyagraha. Okay, idea of Satyagraha. Or you can say over here the idea of Satyagraha is also can called as movement of Satyagraha. This was the very first movement which was there for our nationalism. Now this movement has started by Gandhiji. Okay. This particular movement was started by Gandhiji. Okay. Mahatma Gandhi you can say. Mahatma Gandhi started the idea of Satyagraha. Okay, when he came to India in 1915 from South Africa. Okay, from South Africa, Gandhiji came to India and he gave us an idea of Satyagraha. Now, what is idea of Satyagraha? Idea of Satyagraha is following path of truth and non-violence. Okay, this was the idea of Satyagraha which has been given by Gandhiji to start with the nationalism in India. Okay, what is the belief of Gandhiji? Gandhiji believes that, everyone look over here, Gandhiji believes that when we need to agitate, when we are fighting for our freedom, we should have a peaceful fighting. We should have a peaceful agitation which should be like on a path of truth, and we are following the path of non-violence. That means we are not fighting with violence. Understand? So that is the main concept of movements which Gandhiji has started at different time periods. Whatever movement has started by Gandhiji in the face of nationalism or in the period of nationalism to gain freedom, all those movements, the basic idea was idea of Satyagraha, which is the path of truth and non-violence. Understand? So after when Gandhiji came to India in 1915, after that there was a 3 years, that is 1916, 1917 and 1918 before the Rawalt Act, which has passed in 1919. Okay, before that, these 3 years when Gandhiji came to India, Gandhiji tried to spread the idea of Satyagraha in all over the India. So first Gandhiji took the part of agriculture, or Gandhiji took the part of villages, different villages, and different farmers are there who are suffering mostly. Because as we all know that India is an agricultural country, yes or no? And sorry. And 74 or more than 75% of our population depends upon agricultural activity. Okay, so as an agrarian country, farmers are more in India. Agricultural activities are more in India on that time also. So farmers are suffering more because their population is more. So that is why Gandhiji started the movement, or Gandhiji started the idea of Satyagraha from the farmers only, or from the villages. Okay, so there was a 3 important, you can say, movement or 3 important agitation which has started by Gandhiji in the favor or in the support of farmers to abolish the land revenue system, to abolish the zamindari system. Okay, because zamindars are also exploiting farmers, especially landless farmers who don't have a land. Okay, zamindars employ them to work on their land and they are getting benefit out of it, and they are paying very small wages to them, small payments to them, and with that small payments also they need to pay tax to the British government. Understand? So over here Gandhiji started with the 3 different, you can say not a movement, but 3 different agitations, peaceful agitation to support the farmer. So 1916, 1917 and 1918, you can say. In 1916, then in 1917, then in 1918. Okay, in these 3 years Gandhiji started different small agitation in different areas or in different villages. In 1916 Gandhiji started a movement in Champaran, Bihar. Okay, in Champaran, Bihar, Gandhiji started this movement against oppressive plantation system. This particular movement is against oppressive planting system. Plantation system. Now what is oppressive plantation system? Look over here, write down afterwards, I'll give you a time. See, over here when we talk about these 3 years where Gandhiji started 3 important agitation in the support of farmers. First one is in 1916. Okay, in 1916, one village is there in Bihar, Champaran. Okay, in that village Gandhiji started an agitation with the farmers, okay, to abolish the plantation system, the wrong plantation system. What is the plantation system on that time? Food grains has not been produced and farmers are forced to produce tobacco and neem. Understand? And that tobacco and neem is not for our country but Britishers, what they have done, they export those tobacco and those neem to other countries. Understand? To other European countries where these things are having greater demand. So that is why Gandhiji was started, first of all Gandhiji was started agitation against the plantation system, the forceful plantation system which we have in India because of the Britishers in 1916. Okay, then in 1917, Kheda, Gujarat. Okay, the movement was started by Gandhiji in Kheda, Gujarat. Okay. And this movement is against the relaxation in revenue collection. Relaxation in revenue collection. See, as I have told you that Britishers have made one land revenue system. According to that land revenue system, whether you are having a production or not, whether you are suffering from the plough, whether you are suffering from the drought, whatever is there. If production is there or not, that is not our concern. They need to pay the tax to the Britishers, which is fixed. Okay, the tax was fixed, the land revenue system was fixed, and farmers need to pay that land revenue system every month to the every year or after every 6 months to the Britishers, and there is no concession if you don't have a proper production. Okay, so to relaxation in the land revenue system collection, or Gandhiji demanded that there should be a relaxation in land revenue system, there should be decrease in the payments, or there should be concessions in the payments when there was no such production, when there was a less production. Understand? So what Gandhiji has done over here, year by year, he took up one matter or one problem of the farmers which they are facing. like plantation system, wrong plantation system, then land revenue system, understand. And when he started a movement in one particular place, that movement was not there in one particular place, but it spread in all over the India, understand. Other areas also people started following the same movement in other villages also. So when we talk about the particular movement in a particular place, that doesn't mean that it is there in that place only. Actually, that was the center of the movement. Understand? Like when I have told you that the movement has started by Gandhiji in 1960 against oppressive collection in Bihar. That doesn't mean that the movement was only there in Bihar. It spread in all over India, but the center was Bihar. Understand? Because the movement started from there only. Same way, when we talk about in 1970, Kheda, Gujarat, Gandhiji started one movement against the relaxation in revenue collection. Gandhiji demands the relaxation or concessions in the revenue collection. Okay, that the center of the movement is Kheda, Gujarat, but the movement spread in all over India. Understand? And the last movement which has started by Gandhiji was in 1980 in Ahmedabad. Okay, in Ahmedabad, and that particular movement is to support the cotton mill workers. To support cotton mill workers. So yes, Ahmedabad and Gujarat is a center for nowadays also. If you see in present time also, Gujarat, especially Ahmedabad was a center of cotton clothing. Okay, because they have many cotton mills over there. So it is a center of cotton clothing. In all over India, cotton clothes have been distributed or transported from the Gujarat, from Ahmedabad only. So on that time, cotton mill workers are suffering with the low wages, very bad working condition. Okay, and they also need to pay the tax. So over here, what Gandhiji has done, in these 2 years, Gandhiji concentrated on the farmers. But in 1918, Gandhiji also concentrated on the industrial workers. Understand? Especially cotton mill workers who are suffering more because of the bad working condition, okay, and because of the low wages which they are getting, and they don't have a proper place to live. So all these problems are there with the cotton mill workers. So to make a justice with the cotton mill workers or to industrial workers, in 1918 in Ahmedabad, Gandhiji started a movement against or to support the cotton mill workers to improve their condition. Okay, to improve their bad condition which they are having. So you understand, like this, when Gandhiji came to India in 1915, from 1915 to 1918, Gandhiji tried to spread the idea of Satyagraha in all over the India, so that people will follow that particular path and people support Gandhiji to start with the real movement, to start with the real nationalism, to start with the real freedom struggle. Understand? After these 3 years, okay, when Gandhiji has started, or you can say that Gandhiji tried to spread the idea of Satyagraha, tried to inspire the people of India to follow the path of Satyagraha or to support Gandhiji to gain freedom and to put up a freedom struggle. Okay, so now when the Britishers have seen that there was an agitation, small agitations have started, okay, so they also need to take some step to suppress those agitations, to suppress the idea of Satyagraha. Britishers have came up with the idea of the Rolt Act. Okay, so now we will see what is the Rolt Act. Okay, as I have told you, from 1915 to 1918, when Gandhiji tried to put up a small agitations in village areas or in urban areas or in industries to suppress the movement or to suppress the idea of Satyagraha, Britishers have started with the Revolt Act in 1919. Revolt Act in 1919. Okay. So this particular act have 2 parts. First, what is there under that particular act, which policies, or you can say which laws have been made, or which points have been made under this particular act, and what is the result of this particular act on Indian people, how they reacted. Understand? So first we will see. Okay. over here two parts are there. First we will see what is the different points. You can say what are the different policies under the Robert Act which Britishers have made, and what is the result of that particular policy, or what is the result of that particular law on Indian people. Okay, so now first we will see what are the policies which they have made. So over here, Robert Act passed by Imperial Legislative Council. See, they have passed the act, and according to the act, they have said that according to the Robert Act, okay, it is related with the you can say judicial part or judiciary system. Robert Act was it has been launched by Legislative Council, and what is the very first problem which Gandhiji has with that particular act? That when Legislative Council has been made to pass this act, that Legislative Council does not have any Indian members. Okay, so Gandhiji demanded that there should be an Indian members or Indian representatives in Legislative Council, British Legislative Council, so that if any act was passed, our representatives are also there who can put up our opinions, who can put up our needs, because all the members who are there in Legislative Assembly are of Britishers, and they don't know what is the need of Indian people. They don't know about the problems of Indian people. That is why Gandhiji demanded that there should be Indian members also in the British Legislative Council, so that we also have our representatives. We can talk for ourselves. They can talk for us. They are our representative. They can represent Indian people in the Legislative Council. Okay, but the Britishers will not accept that demand of Gandhiji, and what they have done, they have created one more law that any Indian citizen or any Indian people, if they are arrested by any policeman, there will be no case or there will be no trial till 2 years. That means that particular person can be in jail till 2 years without any trial. Understand? So that was the main purpose of that particular act, to suppress the agitation. So if there is any kind of agitation, police can arrest you, and after arresting you till 2 years, they can keep you in a jail without filing any case against you and without taking you to the court for the trial. Understand? So that was a big injustice for the Indian people in Robert Act. Thirdly, you can say that it was intended to curb political activities by Indians, as I have told you, as we are putting up an agitation. So they wanted to suppress us. They wanted to suppress the agitations. Britishers wanted to suppress the agitations. That is why they have introduced that act, under which they have said that if anyone was arrested by the British officers without any trial of 2 years, they can be put up in a jail. So that means people who has been arrested, no trial was there for them for 2 years, without any reason, 2 years they need to be in jail. Understand? So that is why this Robert Act was not accepted by the people in India. So over here you can see that the first thing which we are saying, that it is passed by Legislative Assembly. No Indian representatives are there. Okay, no Indian representatives are there, and this particular act, according to this particular act, you can say that British officers can arrest anyone and no trial till 2 years. Okay, without any case till 2 years, you can put up a person in jail. Okay, and why this particular act was introduced? To suppress political activities. To suppress political activity which is there. Okay. The political activities or the agitation which we are putting up, to suppress that political activities, they are having that particular act. Okay, so against that particular act, you can say that to not to accept that political act, or against that political act, Gandhiji started with the civil disobedience movement. Okay, because of this act, Gandhiji started with the non-violence civil disobedience movement. Against the act, Gandhiji launched civil disobedience movement. what is the result? What is the result of that particular movement? Okay, so over here we have stopped today because the time has we have no time. So you have understand that much, everyone. So tomorrow we will start from the results.